Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to interview 172 featuring Casey Riley. I'm really excited to talk to her today, and I'm sure that you guys are excited to get to know her a little bit better. So once she hops on, we will go ahead and get this shindig started. And happy daylight savings to everybody. I know some of you might be tired. I think I saw Loretta posted something pretty hilarious that said there's no such thing as like an extra hour of sleeping in if you're a parent. So hopefully you can catch up with that in another day or two and feel normal. So we're just waiting for Casey, and once she hops on, we will get started. I'm really excited. Hopefully you guys have some questions too. It's always fun. We have some pre-planned questions, but I find it always interactive to just see kind of what direction the conversation goes with the live chat. So hi Kristen, hi Loretta, hi Gabby. There's some new names I'm not familiar with. And there's Casey, so let me get her on. All right. Hi Sam, thanks for tuning in. There she is.
Hi.
Long time no talk.
I know. Oops. Let me get this propped up here. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Well, thank you, everyone. Makes me feel really special. Yeah, that you spend your Sunday looking at me and talking to me.
Well, I think everybody's been excited to get to know you better for definitely a long time.
Well, thank you.
So we're super excited to chat with you today, and I see Lisa's on as well. Hi, Lisa.
Hello, Lisa.
So as I mentioned, as I was kicking this off, we have some pre-planned questions that we'll go through. There will be questions in the chat, so we're just going to make it a conversation, and we look forward to getting to know you better. And maybe one of the best ways to start is for you to tell us, how did you get started with the Tracy Anderson method?
Oh, man. I probably officially started like with the online platform probably about 4 years ago, about when you started, Emily, I think. But it was always there as far as like when I say always, when I started teaching bar, because you're working on the small muscle groups, and that is what I made me curious about her method. And I bought some DVDs. This was ages ago, and I just could not commit to the DVDs. I totally understood what Tracy was doing and what she was going after, but I don't know. I guess I just wasn't ready for it, to embrace it. Whereas now, I just totally love it. So yeah.
It's definitely shifted. I think we talked a little bit about this too, but the music, and no offense to the DVD music, but it was not.
Oh, that was a huge part of it for me. I just could not. Yeah, the music. Well, and then also, when you're watching a DVD, even though especially during COVID times, it would just be Tracy when she was filming, but at least she would have on something different, so you felt like, whereas the DVD is always the same thing. So I think that had a lot to do with it. And I loved then early on, like 4 years ago, how you would see other people in class.
Yeah.
And I loved that, because then it makes you feel like you're actually in a class, and I would watch certain people, and, it just gives you just something else to stimulate you and to keep you motivated to keep going.
Oh, totally. And get the benefit of seeing the moves and the design and the flow through different bodies.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say too, because then, when you're in the class, you say, oh, well, here's somebody that's shorter like me, or here's somebody that's built like me. And exactly. You can see then how the different bodies then move. Yeah.
So this is a great point, because you mentioned sort of an impetus for getting started was teaching bar. So can you tell us a little bit about some of your experience? We know that you're a fitness instructor as well, plus doing the method. I'd love to hear a little bit more about your background.
Yes. So I grew up taking ballet, and I took all the way through high school. and really, really then missed it. And, you know, like you get into college and I tried the more traditional types of exercise. Like I started running, you know, aerobics, and like for the first time ever went like to the gym, you know, and did weights and, you know, all that. So then, you know, I've always really enjoyed moving because it just makes, as we know, makes you just feel so much better. You know, it's not just about what we look like, it's like what we feel like too. So even though I enjoyed those types of movement, there was just something that I missed about the more, I don't know if I want to say feminine, but just that type of movement. So, you know, I did it all. I mean, I did CrossFit. I mean, I did everything. And then probably about 10 years ago, I went to a bar class in Atlanta that I really liked, and it was a different type of a bar class. And I ended up teaching there. And what she did is she combined dance though with some cardio elements. And so then I just kind of came up with my own type of bar program and started teaching it at Georgia Dance Conservatory. And I taught that up until COVID. Yeah. And now I just do 2 classes online, and that's it. But I make there's no question with all of my students that I do the Tracy Anderson method. Yeah. Because I firmly believe in it. And I just, yeah, I'm not going to say that, oh, I do bar 7 days a week, because I don't.
Right. That would be hard.
Yeah.
I've tried bar a couple of times, and it's hard.
No, it is. It is. But I do. I enjoy it. I enjoy, you know, even though, like, I understand while we're on the floor. I totally get while we're on the floor, but I do like sometimes just standing up, you know? So, and I love that now then Tracy has the standing sequences.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
So what is your, do you have like a routine or a consistent class that you try to do, or do you kind of go in for it either every day or every week and see what feels good? Is it, if you think about like the programming of, I feel like the names change all the time, but I always think of them as like start, fundamental.
Right.
There's all the other bonus content. Now, what is your routine like?
I try to do the advanced class. I try, you know, and there's some weeks where I'm just like, oh my gosh. And, but I do, that is the lane that I try to stay in. And so when I started 4 years ago, and I guess I thought, oh, I'm a bar teacher and a yoga instructor. So I started with the advanced, and I don't know if, and I realized, I was like, you know, even though I'm familiar with what she's trying to do and I understand what she's trying to do, then I backed it off. I went to start maybe for just a couple of weeks, then intermediate. And I stayed in intermediate for a while, probably a year when I started. And then, like I said, I tried to do the advanced. I think what it is, I know what it is about the advanced that I really like is I like the choreography.
Yeah.
But I like the stimulation for my mind. But sometimes I think my body may benefit more from the intermediate because sometimes I'm more sore, but I miss that mental, like just the flow. And so, yeah, I probably should honestly, I don't know. Probably I should do like maybe advanced 3 times and intermediate 3 times. But I tried to do the advanced. That's what I try to do.
Yeah. And I know what you mean. There are, I think fundamental is such a fantastic lane. And sometimes people can stay in fundamental for a long time and you can still get great results too. It just comes down to whether or not the choreography and your ability to keep tempo and speed in the attain class, whether or not that's going to work so you don't compromise.
Exactly. Because sometimes, yeah, I do notice I'm like, oh, I'm really into this, but you know, I don't know. I'm probably losing certain aspects though, because I'm just like, just flowing so much. So, but that's what I try to do. And I'll do it. Oh, I try to do it 5 to 6 days. Some days I teach bar Tuesday, Thursday. So some days I will double up. I will teach my class and I will do because I love it so much. So, but it may be like the intermediate or the start, you know.
Sure. Which are all tough classes.
Oh yeah.
There's no easy classes ever. So Lisa has a question for you, and she's
Okay.
a little bit about, you are so consistent. You just described that, trying to do, 5 or 6 days a week. What helps to keep you motivated with that?
Well, like I said, I'm one of these people and that has always enjoyed moving. That is, it's just not a, I, I have no problem. I feel weird if I don't do it.
Yeah.
I start getting real antsy after a couple of days. And so, and I get it. Not everybody is like that. I understand. But I love to move. I just love it.
Yeah. It's kind
So
of,
I think it's not so much for me like I think when I was younger, it was more about what I looked like, honestly. Like, oh, I want to be able to, get in these pants and oh, I want to weigh this, certain amount. But I think as you get older, which this is, I think, one of the good things about getting older, I'm 56, is that it becomes so much more than what you look like and what you weigh and, all of that. And I think that's the thing, honestly, sometimes that I get that I would love to tell like younger women is like, listen, don't get so hung up on that because no one really cares except for your loved one. Your spouse does not care.
right.
For the most part, if you weigh 110 or you weigh 115 or 150 or what, they would just want you to be happy. And I think, and the movement makes me happy.
I love that. First off, thank you for that advice to everyone because I think that's great. There's so many of us that, you're so focused on other things and time will keep passing you by.
Oh, yeah. And just to digress, I just remember like my younger self. I remember being in Hawaii and I remember, and I do not own a scale anymore. I used to weigh myself all the time. And there was this certain number. And boy, if I was on that number, it was awesome. So we get to Hawaii and there's stupid scale, like in the hotel, in your room. Mm-hmm. I get on the thing like an idiot. Oh, no. So I get on it and I'm like, and so the entire time that I'm in Hawaii, that is what I'm thinking about. And it still pisses me off to this day. Instead of just enjoying, I was so like, oh my gosh, I've got to go do this and I've got to do that. And, it's just it's not worth it. It's really not. I get it. You do have to, sometimes get on the scale to keep yourself, in check. But this, constant beating yourself up, I think is just it's not helpful.
Yeah. And it's so tough to get to a point where the scale doesn't set the tone for your day.
Oh.
Because for some people, it can steal the joy right out of you.
Oh, exactly.
Great. I think I'm.
That's why I got rid of it. I was like, know, I'm done. I am done with this. So, and it may say something about me. Maybe I've got some type of disorder or whatever. But I was like, I'm getting rid of it. And that was probably 15 years ago, and I haven't missed it at all.
Yeah. There's so many kind of measures in life that can be signals to you about how healthy you are feeling,
mm-hmm.
If you're in tune with your body. It's just one aspect. And I think that's cool. So I am curious, when you think about your experience with the method, I think you said over 4 years, what kind of results have you experienced? Do you feel like they're more kind of emotional results, or are you seeing physical results as well?
No, I have definitely seen physical results too, even though that is not.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to lie. Yes, we all want to look good. We want to look good. You want to feel good in your skin. You want to, when you look at yourself, say, you know what, I look good. I do. So, no, I can definitely tell. It's, for me, I would say, definitely my legs.
Yeah.
As far as they just are so much more toned than they should. So I could say that is probably the biggest difference is legs, rear end. As I've gotten older, the abs have become a little bit harder to, I don't know, there's just kind of like but still, I mean, they look good, but just that part of my body is still something that I think that, I don't know, it's a weakness. I think I must be, ab-centric?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've always wanted to do that too. I'm like, I wonder what I am, but I think it changes. too. I think that, as our bodies change, I think that that changes too. I think I used to be more hip centric. Now I think it's more ab.
Hmm. That is interesting. Yeah, I think, and I'm curious what the stance is on centrics anymore because I feel like it's sort of shifted away from that, and the classes kind of target everything. And so the goal is
Mm-hmm.
the centrics previously would help you identify areas that you might
Right.
to work on, and then the ultimate goal would be that you shift towards omnicentric or something to where you're not necessarily having one major weakness area or shifting to another if you're doing the method appropriately and all of those things. But it is interesting. I remember when those came out, I had no idea. I just guessed which one I would be.
I know. But yeah, definitely my legs look so much better than they did. And, in your rear end, even,
Yeah.
I mean, I would say before I had more of like a flatter rear end, and now it actually has got some, curve to it. So
I've seen it. It looks very nice, and your legs
thank you.
amazing. Yes, this is aspirational to say the least. So.
Yeah, I think just all around, just more toned in general, and more the type of body that I like from my dance background, just that more toned, not, and especially I think too, as you get older, like I don't want to have I don't think I would be even capable of having this, but like really hard lines, like a big old bicep. I think that you get older, that just looks odd.
You have to eat a lot of protein, I think, after that to do. So I'm curious, thinking about, again, how long you've been doing the method, how did you discover the Tamily and how did you get engaged with the Tamily community?
It seemed like there were certain, like when I was contemplating, should I sign up for this? I remember there were certain people that would just pop up like on my Instagram. And one was, I think I told you, and I don't even know her real name, which is terrible. Mama Chaba.
Yes.
Okay. So she went, and I was like, wow, and just some other ladies. And it seemed like they were all women that were over in Europe or, the Middle East and I was like, God, they all look, and they all looked different. They all had different body types, but they all looked great. So I was like, there's something to this method. So then I started doing it, and I noticed they would all post their workouts. So I was like, well, I guess that's what you do. So I would post mine too. And then it's like, and I would notice the hashtags that people used, and it just kind of grew. Like then people would start following me, and I started just following other people just for inspiration because I was just so inspired by what they did. But it is funny, when I was thinking about signing up, I remember watching Mama Chaba, and I did not realize how many exercises were actually in a class. Because she would just post just a few, and I thought, well, that's what you do. It's just like maybe 20 minutes or something. And so then when I signed up, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like 20 exercises or however many. So yeah, I was like, this is hard as I don't know what.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny that you say that because you're totally right. And I think of that now. Once in a while, someone might comment and say, oh, how many reps of that do you do? And I'm like, oh, this is just like 30
seconds. Right, exactly. I know.
Whole thing.
So, I think just me putting the hashtags on my post, and then I just started following other people that I thought were, inspirational, which we all are. I mean, I've been so impressed with our community, and everybody's so supportive and kind, and it's awesome.
We are lucky, and I'm so glad that it is this way because I know I don't know of any other communities that are like this. So it is a special thing, and I hope it continues to stay that way. I think it will, based on the people that participate in it.
I think so too. And I like that everybody is an individual, because I have been involved in things like some other type of fitness things where it is almost kind of, I don't want to say cultish. I mean, that's kind of extreme, but where everybody dressed alike. And everybody kind of started talking, and I was just like, okay, this is strange. Yeah. So I like it because everybody is just themselves. Not everybody dresses the same. I know that we all like to be cute like Tracy and wear, certain bit. Sometimes it just doesn't work on me. So, but I like that sometimes you see people in sweats, and some people do have on things that are really cute, and other times people have on just whatever.
Yeah. I get inspired by people that are like, I just rolled out of bed and my feet.
That and right.
Well,
Yep.
I've tried to press beds before, but then I feel like they will rub all over my knees or something in the class, and I'm like, oh, I can't have something loose; it's too much friction. So, but you're right. Everybody is kind of brings their unique twist or
Mhm.
aspect to it and brings something different. But at the end, we're all trying to work towards similar goals, which I think is
Right. And I think that too, I also like her trainers, are also different too. So
yeah,
it's the same thing, like Lashana could teach, and they do, they teach the exact same class, but you're going to still get different moods, and the way that they move, is different, and the music. And I think that that's awesome that she embraces that too. That yes, we're all doing the same movement, but we all have our own spin on it.
yes. It almost like as you say that, I think about if everybody's speaking the same language, we'll just say English, for example, because
Yeah.
you're speaking English, but depending regionally where you are, there's going to be different dialect or a little bit of an accent or something like that. And I kind of think about that the same way as working through the trainers because there's a little bit of a different vibe from each one. And
Mhm.
in the opening ceremonies is where I think we really get to kind of experience that, which is just so cool to me.
Right.
Like
No, I agree.
traveling. So, what would be your advice to somebody who's new to the Tamily community? What would you say to them?
Well, first of all, to get into the Tamily community, because it's so important. And I think it's just awesome, especially when you're new, that you have people say, great job. I think that is just really important. And then, too, and I think we had talked about this like at dinner that Lisa was saying that people actually checked up on her. Like if you don't post, that people are like, well, is she okay? Which is nice and that keeps you accountable then.
Yeah,
I think just being kind to yourself, saying positive things to yourself as you're moving, not looking in the mirror and going, oh my gosh, I just can't believe I've let myself,
yeah,
get in this shape. Just be kind to yourself and be proud of what you're doing.
yeah,
Because I mean, most of the population is very sedentary. So what we're doing, even if you're only doing something for like 15 minutes, or at least you're doing something.
yeah. I think that's an excellent advice too, and also thinking about being inspired by people, but not feeling like you have to be another person
Right.
or somebody is at that may have been practicing for 10 years if you're new. So I think sometimes you have to
Mm-hmm.
give yourself those reminders too. And it's good to follow other people who are new and get connected, who are maybe at a similar stage in the journey as well.
No, totally.
Yeah,
Totally. Yeah, because I forget what this comparison is a joy killer. Totally.
totally.
Yeah.
Totally. That and the scale, both joy.
Yes. Yes.
um, so I'm curious with your dance background as well. Do you do any dance cardio? Is that part of your routine at all?
No, but I wish, because I look at the girls and they just look so light on their feet. I'm like, oh, that looks so much fun. But okay, so I have got a bad left knee. It I can do the dance cardio
Mhm.
for one day, but then the next day it's like my left knee. I do not have the floors. I don't have the bouncy floors. I'm contemplating getting them. I just don't know if it's going to give me what I need. But I would love to do it. I would absolutely love to do it. So that's why I try to make my bar classes very cardio, because I'll get my cardio then from there.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've learned too is like you can almost make anything cardio.
Yeah.
Like as far as like if you just make the movement bigger and you put your all into it, you can get your heart rate up with
Yeah.
just doing the mat work.
That is for sure.
Yeah. So I wish that I
To
could.
get your heart rate up too.
I know. I wish that I could do and maybe, maybe I'm still contemplating about the floors. I really am. And so I have gotten out my old trampoline. And then what I'll do is I'll put on the dance cardio. And I know I can't travel across the floor or anything like that, but I can do the movement. And that's my left knee's okay with that. I know that the trampoline's supposed to be like, not what we do anymore, but you know, at least it's fun for me. I get to jump up and down and
Yeah.
yeah. So who knows? Maybe I'll invest in the floors. You'll have to give me some feedback on what you think and you know, yeah, because I really seriously would love to. I was this close to getting the American Home Gym floors. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I just don't know. What if I invest all this money and my left knee still doesn't?
Yeah.
So, yeah, any feedback that anybody has, I would love to hear.
Yeah. If anybody has feedback, I think that's great. One of the things that has helped me too is really thinking about building up. So it can get
Mm-hmm.
exciting to where if you haven't done much dance cardio and then you do a full class when you haven't
Oh,
done it in a while, then you're like, no, 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 I'm not going to do it.
yes.
But
Oh,
you commit to like 5 minutes, 3 days a week, and then in another week you do it 7 minutes or something. I think
yes.
it can help
Yes.
as
No,
well.
I totally agree because then when I have tried it, yeah, I can get through a whole class. There was no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It is really hard. So that's why I just admire these girls that I see, and they're just so light, and they're just, you know, it doesn't even look like it's any effort at all. And it's hard, but I get why she does the dance card. I'm not poo-pooing it. I wish that I could,
Yeah.
but the left knee thing, but I get why she does it because to be light on your feet and to jump up, you have got to really kind of lift yourself up, you know, and really keep your core engaged and everything. And, you know, like even like from my dance background, like if you would do partner work, and you know this too, Emily, like, especially if you have a little guy, you kind of do have to lift yourself up. You can't just put your entire weight on somebody. So I get why Tracy does the dance cardio because it is, you're moving in all different angles and you're having to really think about, I've got to stay light. So you've got to really stay engaged.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Retta has talked about that. It's like when you're dancing, you're not jumping per se, you're
Yeah.
lifting your core,
Mm-hmm.
which sometimes takes a while to even wrap your mind around what does that mean. Just like sometimes connecting to
Right.
being like, use your core for these things, and you're not just lifting your leg, and then all of a sudden it can start to click. But
Mm-hmm.
it's
No,
fun.
totally agree.
Yeah. Maria was saying my heart rate is the highest doing opening arms. That's really
Yeah.
that's what the trainers even say as well, is that you really want to break that initial sweat, get your cardio going before the match. So if you're into it and getting engaged, I think that's fantastic.
No, I totally agree, Maria, totally.
So do you make your own playlists like when you take class or even when you teach your bar classes? How do you?
Yeah, definitely for my bar classes.
Okay.
Music is a huge driver for me. Huge. I think for most of us, you know, it
Yeah.
is. But well, okay, of course at first I'll just use whatever music, you know, they're using in class. But then depending, and sometimes I'll like the playlist, you know, especially if it's Courtney. I always love, yeah, like, because I did her advanced all last week when she taught for Tracy, and I was fine. I didn't have to change the music at all. I stayed with it all week long, but sometimes I will if I'm like, okay, you know, because it's such a motivator. And then if I'm like, oh my God, here comes that song, yeah, you know, that I just cannot take anymore, then I will. Then I'm like, okay, the only way I'm gonna get through this is I've got to have my own music.
Yeah.
So it just depends.
Do you have a favorite style of music or do you mix it up?
I like to mix it up. Totally like to mix it up.
Yeah, me too. Variety is the spice of life.
I know. I mean, heck, sometimes I'll even put a country song in there. I mean, not often, but yeah. And but I have a daughter that's in college, and back when I was teaching live or in person, I should say, she would help me a lot with my music, and people would be like, you know, because again, you know, I'm a little bit older, and they would be like, "Where'd you hear that song?" And I was like, "My daughter, she hooks me up." So,
I love that. Maybe she can give us all some tips.
Yeah, no, she said she really is. She's actually very good because then being in Atlanta, you know, sometimes you'll get like this music producer's wife came to one of my classes, and she was like, "You really have a good ear." Yeah, because she gave the playlist. She said, "Can I have the playlist?" And she gave it to her husband. He was like, "She has a good ear." I was like, "I cannot take credit. It was my daughter." So yeah.
Well, I love it. You can pass the compliment on to your daughter. Yeah. So speaking of Blythe, I saw that she was on because she said, "Go, Mom, go."
Oh.
live.
She has been, I mean, all day. How can I watch? How can I watch? Like, I don't know if they'll accept you into the Ask Tamily. I mean, I don't think they're just going to accept any,
Of course we would, but
Okay. Well,
because when you go live, anyone that follows you gets to
okay.
even though Ask Tamily.
Awesome.
So that's fun that she's.
Oh, yeah, there she is. Ha, ha, ha. Love you. Yeah.
So have you gotten Blythe to ever try the method?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she has done, like, and we would record ourselves. Oh, yeah, she's totally done Tracy Anderson.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I even had signed up when she was younger, I want to say for the teen series for her, because it, like I said, movement is so important to me, and I wanted to pass that along to her too. So she did take dance. She loves to move. She doesn't always do Tracy Anderson. She mixes it up. She runs, and she sometimes lifts weights. She loves Zumba.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I love to watch Zumba. I've never actually taken a class, but it just looks so fun. And just the music, I just want to go do it.
No, she says it's really fun, and she's got a very good, a lot better than me, just rhythm. She's got a good sense of rhythm.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, maybe if I thought about it in advance, we could have her join too, but we won't put pressure on her to try.
I know, but no, she does. She loves it. She's like, Mom, this is hard. I was like, yeah, but what I do notice that some of her friends will do it too. Is Blythe has got, and I don't know if it's from dance or from doing like the Tracy Anderson, but she has a very good sense of her body awareness too.
Oh, nice.
She's very good. Yes, the angles. She understands, the knee where it should be and the foot and all that. I'm like, oh, I'm proud of you.
I love that when somebody else comes to like do a class with you for the first time and you think, man, your form's like better than my form.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. So I'm curious, because I know that you've probably seen a few other Ask Tamily interviews over the past couple of years. Has there been any advice from the Tamily that's really resonated with you that somebody else maybe has shared?
Oh, man.
Or like a takeaway that maybe you've had? And maybe not even from an interview, but just from the Tamily and connecting with people.
I know that there has. I think pretty much just, I have a tendency to be a perfectionist. So I think, and I know we have to get the angles right and everything, but I think it also, I know I keep on saying I think, the flow was important for me to find.
Yeah.
I think that, I was so concerned about the angle that I was missing the flow and then missing the cardio aspects of it. So I remember somebody talking about that you've got to find the tempo and the flow. That it's not, yes, it is the angles and everything, but you have to find the two together.
Yeah. It's this kind of yin and yang of you need to get the form right. So that has to be what you focus on first, but then you have to get out of your own head and just flow.
Right.
They're worried about every single rep or getting every rep, but it's like, just allow yourself to go. And I think, that's sometimes it can be something that you strive for all the time. I don't know if we ever fully get there, but definitely something to aim for is like, find your flow, find your pace.
Right.
Get out of your mind a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am curious, have you converted anyone, maybe any of your friends or anyone, to becoming a Tammer?
Oh, yeah. And
yeah.
About that, like as far as like with me teaching, my bar classes, because I would tell everybody what I do. And I was like, okay, I'm still not going to have anybody in my bar class because they're all going to be doing which has happened. It has happened because I was like, I'm not going to lie about this. This is what I do. So, I've had a few girls, a few clients that they don't do my class anymore because they do Tracy at home, but that's okay. Yeah,
that's great. Well, maybe not for your class, but I think it's great in general, especially the pandemic too. It's like finding something.
Well, and the reason that I teach too, it's not a money maker. I think anybody that's in fitness realizes that you're not doing it for the money. Right. So, it was to help people and to share something that I love. So to leave that part out, which is a huge part, would just not be authentic. So,
yeah. What do your friends and family think of the method? Have they observed you doing it? Besides Blythe, but like your parents or your friends?
Yeah, of course, everybody thinks the opening arms is just, they're like, what is that? And I remember when we went on a family beach vacation, my sister-in-law is very much into fitness, but totally different type. She does like more like the CrossFit and the boot camp, everything. So we would take our turns out on this little patio that we have. We couldn't be out there together because it was small. She would go first and then I would go. And I could tell not that she thinks it's a bit, we're just in different places, as far as she would just say, I don't really get the arm thing. But, I would just tell her, I was like, listen, it's hard. I said, that's why, dancers, usually their arms are toned and it's just from holding them up, like, yeah. That you don't have to lift just I'm not gonna try to convert her or anything like that, but oh yeah, no, my family, they know it's part of my routine and they've seen me do it, and
yeah,
they know that I'm a nicer person if they allow me to do my thing for a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's good. And it's good too when you evolve in the method, you get to the point where you don't feel as self-conscious, like even so.
Oh yeah.
Travel, right? And so I'm doing the opening arms in a gym full of people that are like, what?
I know. And that's another thing I think too, as you get older, you don't take yourself so seriously. You're like, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just have to focus on, your why and why you're doing it. And really doesn't matter what other people think. But yeah, that is super funny. So, let's see. I feel like I have so many questions and even non-related questions, but you did mention that you live in Atlanta. So maybe if you don't mind telling everybody who's watching, like, where in Atlanta do you live and what do you do?
Okay.
How long have you been there?
Okay. So, gosh, I consider myself, I'm from Greenville, South Carolina, but I've lived in Atlanta probably 20 something years, and I've primarily always lived more northwest of Atlanta, Marietta, Georgia. So that's where I am. And yeah, it'd probably take me, like, if I was going to go downtown Atlanta, probably take me about 25-30 minutes depending on traffic. So I'm straight up 75, which is a major interstate.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Oh, Marie says she's in Athens. Well, Marie
really?
is in the Atlanta area as well. So maybe you guys can all.
I know, that would be awesome.
I wish I was still there. I miss it all the time. But I keep my Atlanta phone number just for memories.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Well, and then we got my Atlanta trip. Okay. Oh, she lives in Mayor. Oh, before.
I think she's in.
Okay.
York, but yeah. That's where she's got New York, Atlanta journey. I like that kind of combo.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Karen had a question earlier. She asked, what are you drinking? I don't know if she was asking me because I always have two beverages at the same time, but are you drinking anything right now?
Well, it's sitting over here to the side. I always have my big orange Yeti cup with me.
Okay.
And it is, I always have hibiscus tea, unsweetened, that Tazo tea. Yeah. The passion fruit, love it. Love it. I'll probably make a picture of it every single day. And that's what I drink. Yeah.
I'll have to try it. I drink the Tazo refresh mint tea every day.
Okay.
That's my jam. I can drink it hot, cold, lukewarm.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just put a tea bag in my water bottle and just let it kind of flavor up my water. Anything to get more water down.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I try to stay hydrated. And I probably drink a little bit too much iced coffee, but I know. I love that too.
Something about coffee, it's like a ritual of our day.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to not have it for a while, and then I got the welcome benefit of extra headaches from
Oh yeah.
So I didn't like that too much. So I would ask, do you have like a motivational quote or anything that you live by that you would like to share with the Tamily?
I'm smiling because, and if life is still watching this, I'm a quote freak. I am a quote freak. So, and I think it's because I like words so much, because I think that I don't express myself as well with words. I use other things like movement, art, so that's why I really appreciate when somebody speaks so well and they can communicate so well, because I'm just like, oh my God, like, I just do not do that as well. But I think one of my favorite ones, and I remember sharing this with Blythe, is, and I don't know if I'm saying it exactly right, but shape your world or someone else will. So yeah,
Yeah.
because it's true. I mean, even like, she's in college now, and do major what you want to major in, not what I think you should major in, or your dad thinks you should major in, or, and like us, like as far as like moving the way that we want to move, don't be embarrassed about what you like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that just applies to so many different lives, because how it is. And then, you can just go along this path one day, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, why am I even doing this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially with careers too. I think about, young women, Blythe's age or even younger, and you may not know what you want to do, and maybe you haven't even had a chance to think about it, or even like have an experience, do an internship, go volunteer.
Right.
Something that's interesting to you, so you can actually start to get an idea for like, what is this day to day? Because
right.
on TV, for example, being a lawyer might look like something very different than what it's like to be or being a physician, or being, in law enforcement or something like that. So the more experiences you can have to try things out and really define for yourself what's important, and then you can make your decisions and weigh it against that criteria that's important to you, instead of feeling like you're going with the wind a little bit, or with whoever, right? So
right. Yeah, and I think especially like women in like relationships too. You like sometimes will conform to what you think, like, that a guy wants, and all this, and so shape your world.
Yes, I love that. I'm gonna have to like write that down in my notebook right now as well.
And I don't know if I'm saying it exactly right, but it's I think that's basically it. Yeah.
I like it because it's brief. So even if it's not exactly right, me, something that's kind of short and synthesized is a lot easier to connect to as well. So, back to the workout a little bit. What is your preferred time of day to work out? Are you like an early riser? Do you like late afternoon?
I am an early riser, but I don't move. I used to, back when I worked corporate. I mean, because you had no choice, I'd be like down in my basement at like 5:30 in the morning. So now it's like around anywhere from 8:30 to 9:30 in the morning. Today, though, for some reason on Sundays, I have not moved for me, and I call it moving for me. I have not moved for me yet today, but I will. And for some reason on Sunday, I like to do the afternoon.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that's just kind of like a little routine.
Early day.
Yeah, 8:30. Well, I guess too, because it's the weekend and I don't have to get up then so early. Saturday, I do nothing. Saturday is like my rest day. So,
I like that.
I might do something small, but I usually don't do like a full on like workout.
I think that's good. Like, rest is part of the method and part of life as well.
Yeah, and I used to never, but realize that, and it's just good. It doesn't stress me out as much, because the Saturday's more our day. Like we get up in the morning, we go to the farmer's market, and just kind of, and then go have brunch. And I'm not having to like, okay, I got to get up, I got to work out before we do all this. And no, it's just my day, just to kind of let things fall into place, and I don't have such a schedule. Yeah,
I like that a lot. So let's see. Oh, I just lost my place.
Saturday's her rest day too. Yeah, I don't have my glasses on, so if I'm going like this, I have to wear.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, when you have a rest day as well. So, is there a move in the method that you feel like maybe when you first started you couldn't do, and now you feel like you can do it? Have you seen it?
Starfish for sure.
Starfish plank?
Starfish. I was like, terrible. That made me think maybe this, because I'm hip centric. Maybe it's my hips so big, it's just like falling down to the floor. So I just, starfish would just get me every time. And I'm a lot better on one side than I'm on the other side. So that just shows you, imbalances that we have in our body.
Yeah.
But it is starting to balance out more. But starfish. Anything side planks, front plank, I'm great.
Okay.
But I'm good. It's side planks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the first time doing those. I remember falling backwards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. definitely something that takes time to just align your core and
Yeah.
align all of your muscles while you're up there
I
too.
know. And now I notice, like, we've been doing all this back bending, type stuff, and that is getting. I like when I used to take Pilates. I remember the instructor saying that I had a very rigid or immobile low back. So that's something that has really improved too. Or with the back bends and.
Yeah.
I mean, I still can't go like when she'll go all the way back in touch, so I can't do that. But it's improving though.
Yeah.
I would say that's something else I would think that would be important to people that are new to the method. Like that, I can't do that. But I don't think then you turn off the screen and go, this is not for me. You have to just work through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always. Every week there's something to work through.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that is important for the community to share with each other too. Not that we always want to post ourselves falling down, but I try to incorporate some of that, or just, you can see your brain starting to work while you're trying to figure it out. And that's the whole reason you get, up to 7 chances to try it. And
right.
You don't have to get to 100% of every single move by the end of the week, but even making some progress. I know splits scare a lot of people. Headstands can scare a lot of people, but even if you can make progress.
That's another thing too. Yeah, I'm terrified of being upside down. I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. I'll do it, but I have to have the wall. I don't like not having the wall. But I still do the class. And I'll just go to the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. There can always be a modification. You can kind of, take the parts of the move that do work for you and try to modify the others. I know that the online studio is very helpful with some of that too if you're struggling, but sometimes you never know until you try. And if it is something scary like a headstand, I would encourage everyone to try against a wall or have a spotter or somebody to help you. Don't crazy if you've never done one and just go, throw yourself up in the air.
That's not going to be me. I don't have that gene. I'm not, just fearless for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Renee has a question for you and a sweet comment. She said, you're such a supportive member of the Tamily. What does the IG community mean to you?
Oh, no, I think it means the same, Renee. It's like I feel the support from y'all as well. So, no, it means just so much. I mean, and I think especially during, all the COVID stuff and we were all like, it's so nice to know that you have a group of women from all over the world that are cheering you on.
Yeah. It's like built-in friends and family, which is great. So.
Oh, yeah. And you just like sometimes out of the blue, just get these nice messages from people and you're like, wow, that really just made my day.
Yeah. We've got a question. You might have to tell me your name. Is it Vivian?
Vivian, yeah.
Vivian, okay. So she's been doing TA since October of 2019, but a little too shy to post. So do you have any?
Yeah, because I remember we talked one time about a painting and she was like, I do Tracy Anderson, but I'm too shy to post. Just do it, Vivian. It's fine. It's fine if you want to. I'm not going to like pressure you to do it. But, there are times, believe me, when I'll look at things and I'm like, oh my God, but we see things in our body, I think, that other people don't.
Yeah.
I don't think other people notice the things that we notice.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a way of, I think when you do post, that at first you may be nervous about it and like, oh, what are people going to say? Or, is anybody even going to like it? Or, is anybody going to comment? But I think it is a way then for us to be closer to each other then. Because then, like, because Vivian will talk, because about the painting, but then we don't interact quite as much,
Sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I can understand there's a fear. I remember the first time I put a video up and I thought, well, I didn't know what I was doing. I think the video was like this close.
I know. I mean, at first I was more like, what are other people going to think? Like, are people going to think like I'm going through a midlife crisis? And I'm like, look at me doing this, Tracy, look at me, look at me. It's not about look at me.
Yeah.
you know, and then I even did, because I was kind of nervous at first. And I remember running into this lady at the grocery store. She said, I just love your videos. And I said, do you really? I said, I really want to know what you, do you think that this is like, that I look, you know, like some type of like, you know, look at me. And she said, no, she said, I really like it because she said, it's inspiring for me. And, you know, I think she was really being honest. You know, she was like, no, I do not think it's offensive. She said, I don't think that you're being braggy. She said, I think it's inspirational.
It is.
So,
And you never know who you're going to be inspiring. And Vivian, I would just welcome you. Well, I need to follow you. I'm going to have to try to remember that name, or maybe Casey can tell it to me.
Yeah, yeah, we follow each other.
But, yeah, just, I don't know.
Okay, Vivian, I'm going to challenge you to post. I know.
Yeah, just do it. We're here for you. You've already got people that are already in your corner, so
yep,
can't really go wrong. So I think that's great. So I have another question for you, just kind of tying into some of the artwork and your medium of choice for art and how you got into art. We've had the benefit of seeing so many of your beautiful paintings. I know that they're in like amazing hotels in Atlanta. I know that people have your art in their home. Even Danielle, I think, got a painting recently.
She did. Yes.
So
I'm working on one for Cheryl, which is Tamming with Quinter. So, yeah.
Awesome. But, love to hear more about it. How did you get into it? Has it always been a part of your life as well?
It has. So I have always, I just remember when I was little, just sitting at the kitchen table and coloring and painting and all that. I remember like for one year for Christmas, my parents got me an easel. And then I got to where I was taking art lessons, going to camps at the art museum, and took several college courses, art, you know, like art history. But so then I put it aside when I started working corporate. Yeah, because you just don't have time. You don't have time for like everything. So I stopped doing the painting. And I was mainly just painting for me, or like, you know, Christmas presents, like for family and stuff like that. So then I, let me just make sure, because I don't want to lose this. So then when I redid this room that I'm sitting in, I needed a painting, and I wanted something big, and I found one, but it was like $5,000. And I was like, $5,000? I can't spend $5,000 on this painting. So, I mean, I loved it. I'm sure it was worth $5,000, but there was just no way. So I did it myself. And I realized, I was like, I cried when the process was over, when the painting was over, because I enjoyed it so much. I was like, I love this, and I have so missed this. So I just kept on going. Every single wall in my house has art. I mean, it looks like, I mean, it's probably a little too much, but, and I just started doing it for other friends. You know, they would walk in, they're like, oh, I really like that. And it's just, I was a closet painter. I had to put myself out there, and I actually ran into a lady that's kind of a well-known artist in Atlanta. Hold on, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'm going to go to the kitchen because I'm afraid I'm going to lose this. I'm going to plug us in. But, you know, she's like, what are you doing? I was buying canvases and all that. And I said, oh, I do some art. And she was like, well, I never see you post anything. We're friends like on social media. And I said, well, you know, and she's like, how is anybody going to know that you're an artist if you don't, you know, post anything?
Right.
You know, I'm sorry, the lighting's all bad in here. But, so I think if she would not have said that to me, I think I would still be a closet artist. And I was like, really? And she's like, yes, you need to post. And I remember being so nervous, just like Vivian with the workout thing. I was like, I'm going to post this. And, you know, just what are people going to say? What if somebody says, oh, what is that? And you just have to put yourself out there. And I started then applying to galleries. And sometimes it's not always fun. Sometimes rejection does come out. I just applied for some show. I didn't get in. But you just have to keep on going.
Yes.
Yeah. So, no, I love it. I absolutely love it.
So how long have you been like doing it more regularly? Because I know you sort of mentioned when you worked corporately, you didn't have as much time. So how long has it been since you've been more actively painting?
I'd say 3 years, the last 3 years, and especially, well, during COVID, you know, then I was just painting. But, Yeah, and especially this past year, I've really like, embraced or thought of myself as an artist. I mean, I used to get like, if people go, "Oh, what do you do?" I would just kind of, well, I paint. I couldn't say the word artist because I was like, I'm not really an artist. You just feel like almost like a fraud or something. So I was like, no, I am an artist.
Yeah.
And I am just going to really start putting myself out there. I'm working on a website and I'm going to go for it.
Oh,
And I think you just have to realize that, and with the art too, I think you can fall into the same traps as anything else. Like I'll get on Instagram and I'm like, oh my gosh, their art is so much better than mine. But you just can't do that. You just have to be authentic to who you are, and your art will speak to the right people. You'll find your audience and just be you.
yes. It's such a personal thing, and I love that you said that too because it makes me think about whether someone's struggling with putting their art out there or writing or creating music. It's you can start to think, oh, there's someone has already done it or everything's been done before. But I like to say everything's been done before, but not by you.
Exactly. Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and even with Tracy Anderson, when she
Yeah.
started this, she said, there was the doctor, I think, in Puerto Rico. So then what she did is, though, she put her spin and her choreography. She could have been like, well, he's already doing this. But no, I think, that we have to just put our own spin on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you may have an idea and you may say, oh, it's already been done, but nobody's done it like you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have your own vision and your own entire life experience that you bring to the table along with it, which can interpret it differently. So Elizabeth was asking, and I know that you mentioned you're working on a website. Do you have a website right now, or can you tell us what your
I do.
It's for your art?
It's Casey Riley Art. I would really just go to Instagram, Casey Riley Art on Instagram. That's more of like my online gallery. You're not going to see that much on the website yet. The website, it's me. It's fear. I don't feel comfortable. It takes me forever. I get frustrated, but I have to just do it. I just have to find a way to finish the thing.
Well, you're going to get some tabs from me now, some gentle reminders.
I know. Finish your website. Finish your website.
Yeah.
It's procrastination. It's just because, I don't like doing it and I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, you'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
Well, I can't believe it's almost been an hour.
I know.
It's so amazing to chat with you. I figure if anyone else has a question, you can type it in the chat now. But one of the things that I would like to think about as we wrap it up is there something that you can share with us that you're most proud of personally and professionally that we should know?
Oh my gosh. Oh.
And I hate to put something super heavy on you, so if it's
no. I would say just later in life, because again, I'm 56. I feel like almost that this is like the second half, and I'm just proud of myself for putting myself out there and trying something. I mean, I've always loved the art, but I could have been like, I just do it for me. And just having the confidence to go for it. I'm actually really proud of myself. I still feel like an imposter every now and then, but yeah. But I would say that. I would say that and trying new things. And then, and another thing, a friend and I have a flower business called Petalology. And that's another thing that, like, we have a big wedding coming up next weekend. We've been in business for 3 years. And that's something else I'm proud of us about. We have always loved flowers, and flowers inspire a lot of my artwork. Yeah. She, thank goodness, though, Darla, that's my flower partner, she actually has like not a degree in horticulture, but she knows a lot more about flowers and plants, whereas I'm more color and all that. So yeah. I'm proud of us for doing this. Like we just decided, let's do this. Yeah, and like I said, we're getting weddings, and we're like, wow, we're actually doing this.
I love that. Well, thank you for sharing that. We are so proud of you and just so excited that you did take the leap to start sharing your artwork because it connects with many of us. All
Aw.
of the words that you share in your posts always resonate with me. I love your quotes. I love your advice. I'm so glad we're friends. I can't wait to be friends
Oh, I am
for
too.
50 years. And yeah, we've just totally loved spending time with you today. And I don't want to
Ah,
tear, but anyway,
I know. It's awesome, you know? It
yeah,
really, really is. I know. I love all you girls. I mean, you really do. You feel, now I'm going to start crying, Emily. Oh my God. But
don't cry.
it's nice. It's nice to know that, again, you have like minded women that are cheering you on.
Yeah,
We can do this. We got this. Yeah.
and do it. And we've got a great community of support if you ever need it. If anybody needs it, that's another part of what the Tamily is here for. So thank you so much for being.
Thank you. Now I'm all crying. I'm like, oh my God.
I know. Well, now we could go change into our workout clothes and go
I know. I'm
release
going to go hit the
stress.
mat in a bit. Here I go.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining this interview and being interview number 172. Thank you to everybody for.
Oh, and thank you for getting me through this, Emily. I have to admit, I was a little more nervous than I thought I was going to be. But then once it starts going, first off, I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I can't connect? And I'm nervous about the technical issues. But yeah, no, it was really a lot of fun.
Well,
I felt the love.
Yay. Well, good.
Yay.
Thank you so much again. And thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your Sunday and we'll see you back here next weekend.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.